If you want really nice colored lighting, you may be looking at getting an RGB LED bulb. Well, I'm here today to tell you to not get one of these. Now, when I say don't buy this, I'm not talking about the lamp. Like, I don't know how you get a lamp wrong. I don't know how it's possible. The issue is the bulb inside. The idea originally, the reason why I bought this was I was actually going to do some of the backlighting with it. My idea being that I would just set it up in the background. With the room being dark, I'm using a camera that can deal with low light, so I thought, well, okay, I don't need this, an especially bright bulb in the background. It didn't work. It was too dark. Just as an example, the camera lens is pointing directly at the bulb right now. For a normal light, it would be blowing the lens out. If I now switch this to the normal lamp mode, so like the general white color, with colored LEDs, the way they work is that actually inside, you basically have 3, or in some cases 4, separate diodes. For a 3-diode light, for a 3-diode LED, which is just called an RGB LED, you have green, red, and blue. And the way that the color changing works is each diode is at a certain intensity. So, if you just have, for example, God, I'm testing myself on like year 7 art now. What are the color combos? I actually need to look this up. Can't believe it. I've literally had to get a color chart up so I can actually explain what I'm talking about. Right, so but for typical RGB LED lighting, which is almost certainly what this is, each color combination or each color, the diodes are shown at a specific intensity. So, for example, if you just want red, only the red diode will be on, right? If you want something like yellow, for example, both the red and green, I'm dumb. The red and green diode would both be on. If you've got just a regular RGB LED light, then red, green, and blue make up white, which means you have 3 separate light sources all at 100% intensity. White on cheaper lights is brighter. And to be honest, even on more expensive lights, there's always going to be a difference in terms of the intensity of light. If you've ever had any involvement in film or film media, and if you've ever seen how lighting works, then this is not going to come as a shock to you. But the key, actually, is these. These are colored gels, and what they do is they act as a filter. You put them across the light and they reduce the other wavelengths. It is going to dim the light, don't get me wrong, it's going to have an effect. The effect is so much less than if you're just trying to show one color diode at a time. Now, I'm not just going to tell you to do that, I'm going to show you the difference, alright? I'm actually going to show you the difference. It's going to get super dark in here. Okay, so pretty much all the light is off except for my monitor. What we're going to do is against this white wall, we're going to shine the bulb, right? And we're going to do it with one LED color. Right, so hang on, that's white. Actually, it's not that bad, right? It's fairly bright. So what I'm going to do, set its color. That intensity immediately drops, Right, so we got it on blue, and it's nothing. There's nothing there, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to set that to white. And as you can see, that is way more light coming through. It's not, don't get me wrong, it's nowhere near the power of my Amaran, but it's certainly better than what the actual color in the LED bulb is, right? And this is going to be the case for pretty much any LED bulb, especially any cheap LED bulb. When you get expensive ones, sure, the color intensity is going to be way better, but if you're on a budget, don't bother with that. These filters were like £10 on Amazon. Now I've got to turn all my lights back on. Oop. Oh, that one on. Right, there we go. So that's a really good example of what I'm talking about. But the fact that one diode is so much darker in comparison to throwing all of the light at a filter instead, it's a night and day difference. You're going to get cheap bulb, you're on a budget, just go for a solid bright white bulb. Just get some of these. Again, £10 on Amazon. Obviously you don't get like app control or anything like that. You have to physically get up and rearrange stuff. At the end of the day, if you're on a budget, app control is not worth spending all that money on, especially when you can spend it on something else that's more worthwhile to use, like, saving up for a camera or something like that, or saving up for more lighting. If this is just like mood lighting in your room or something like that, this is perfect. Sorry, just a quick 5 seconds just to say, gamer stock footage, what a gift. What an absolute gift. Now, these filters do stop down the light that's coming out. Whenever you're filtering light, there's going to be some loss in intensity, but the intensity that's actually lost is so much less than when you're trying to use a cheap LED bulb to show one color. The other thing to keep in mind is that with these kind of filters, you need to be careful about heat. Film grade color filters are designed to be over the top of super heavy duty lights. So they're really good, but they're also quite expensive. These are only £10, but that's because they're designed for filtering photography flashes. Over the top of LED lights and lights that don't get that hot, like the Amaran, it's fine, okay? It's not that much of an issue because I'm not that concerned about heat, as long as I keep the actual filter away from the light source. You can see I've got the spotlight attachment on. Now, normally I wouldn't have the spotlight attachment on. I don't particularly like the way it, that it focuses the light in one area. It doesn't matter too much for me because I'm focusing up in that corner, and then what's happening is it's then spilling out everywhere else. So that's fine, that works for me. But the main reason I have it on is to create that separation between the actual cob light inside and where the filter's going. That's literally the only reason it's on there. As long as you're safe with it, and as long as you're not using it on bulbs that are going to get hot and you're not putting it directly on the bulb, never put a filter directly on any bulb of any kind, even like a cold LED light. Don't do it because the heat will build up. But if you're on a budget and you're using LED bulbs and you want to try and get some dynamic color, light filters are 100% the way to go.